One meal a day, the warrior way, explore how Bob turned history into his weight loss success. Meet Bob. Just like many of us, Bob has always had a bit of a battle with his weight. Late night snacks, skipping workouts, and those extra servings at family dinners had become all too familiar, but it wasn't just about the numbers on the scale. Bob felt sluggish, his clothes felt tight, and he missed the energy he once had. He knew he needed a change, but with so many diets and fads out there, where was he to start? Then, one day, while scrolling through his social media, he stumbled upon something called the Warrior Diet. The name alone piqued his interest. A diet that promised not just weight loss, but also a boost in energy and overall well-being? Bob was intrigued and decided to dive deeper into what the Warrior Diet was all about. Growing up, Bob was always the kid who was a little rounder than the rest. It never bothered him much as a child, but as the years went by, those extra pounds became more noticeable and harder to shed. By the time he reached his 30s, Bob had settled into a routine that wasn't doing him any favors. His job had him sitting at a desk for hours, and the convenience of fast food during lunch breaks was hard to resist. Evenings were spent on the couch, binge watching shows with a bag of chips or a bowl of ice cream in hand. The wake-up call came during a family gathering. As he tried to chase after his niece in the backyard, he found himself out of breath within minutes. Later, when photos from the day were shared, Bob hardly recognized the man staring back at him. That once active and lively young guy seemed to have disappeared, replaced by someone who looked tired, worn out, and frankly, unhappy. It was a jarring realization. Bob knew he couldn't continue down this path. He needed a solution, something that would not only help him lose weight, but also reintroduce him to the energetic person he once was. And that's when he remembered the Warrior Diet he recently read about. Determined to turn his life around, Bob began his quest for information. He tried diets before, the ones that promised quick results, but often felt unnatural or hard to maintain. But each time, he found himself reverting to his old habits. He needed something different, something that might challenge his usual patterns but also resonate with his desire for a significant change. That's when he recalled the Warrior Diet. Late one evening, armed with a cup of herbal tea, Bob delved deeper. He learned that the Warrior Diet was a form of intermittent fasting where he'd fast for about 20 hours and then have a 4-hour window to eat. It was about embracing the body's natural rhythms, much like the warriors of ancient times who would spend their days active and then have one substantial meal. The concept was certainly different from anything he tried before. It was extreme in its own way, but the testimonials and the potential benefits it offered intrigued him. Feeling both apprehensive and excited, Bob decided to embark on his journey with the Warrior Diet. The first few days were, to put it mildly, a test of Bob's willpower. The idea of fasting for 20 hours seemed daunting, especially when his usual routine involved multiple meals and snacks throughout the day. Mornings were particularly tough. Bob missed his hearty breakfast, and by midday, his stomach was vocal in its protest. He also grappled with mood swings. There were moments of irritability, especially when he saw colleagues enjoying their lunches or when he passed by his favorite bakery. Doubts had officially crept in. Had he made the right choice? Was this diet too extreme for him? But Bob wasn't one to give up easily. He remembered the reasons he started his journey and the change he wanted to see in himself. While the Warrior Diet does emphasize a 20-hour fasting period, it's not a complete fast. Small amounts of raw fruits and vegetables are allowed, which can help stabilize blood sugar levels and prevent extreme hunger. This approach is believed to mimic the eating patterns of ancient warriors who consumed minimal amounts during the day and feasted at night. He also sought support online, joining forums and communities where others shared their Warrior Diet experiences. Reading about their challenges and how they overcame them gave Bob the motivation to push through. As the days turned into a week, Bob started noticing subtle changes. His energy levels began to stabilize and the intense hunger pangs reduced. He felt lighter, more alert, and surprisingly, more in tune with his body's needs. As the weeks rolled on, Bob began to find his rhythm with the Warrior Diet. The initial challenges were still fresh in his memory, but they were slowly being overshadowed by the positive changes he was experiencing. One of the most significant shifts was in his perception of food. No longer was it just a source of comfort or a way to pass the time. Instead, food became something to be savored and appreciated. During his 4-hour eating window, Bob made sure to choose nutrient-dense foods that would nourish his body. He experimented with new recipes, discovering a love for cooking he knew he never had. Grilled lean meats, fresh salads, whole grains, and delicious fruits became staples in his meals. Exercise too became an integral part of Bob's routine. He found that working out during the latter part of his fasting window gave him a unique kind of energy. The body, in a fasted state, tends to tap into fat reserves for energy, enhancing the fat-burning effects of exercise. Bob started with brisk walks, gradually incorporating light jogging, strength training, and even yoga. The community he'd found online continued to be a source of inspiration. sharing his progress, setbacks, and little victories with others on the same journey made the process more enjoyable and less isolating. With each passing day, the warrior diet felt less like a challenge and more like a lifestyle choice that Bob was proud to have made. After a month into his warrior diet journey, Bob began to see tangible results. One morning, as he was getting ready for work, he noticed that his favorite pairs of jeans, which had been snug for months, now fit comfortably. The belt needed an extra notch, the mirror reflected a face that looked less puffy, with clearer skin and brighter eyes. But it wasn't just the physical changes that stood out. Bob felt different on the inside. He woke up feeling more refreshed, even on the days where he hadn't gotten a full 8 hours of sleep. His energy levels remained consistent throughout the day without the usual afternoon slump. And mentally, he felt sharper, more focused. Friends, family, and colleagues began to take notice. Compliments flowed in, with many asking Bob about his secret. He'd smile and share his journey with the warrior diet, emphasizing that while the weight loss was a significant benefit, the overall improvement in his well-being was the real win. Bob also started tracking his progress, taking monthly photos and noting down his weight and measurements. Each month showed steady progress, further fueling his motivation to continue with this new lifestyle. As with any weight loss journey, Bob's path wasn't always a straight line downwards. After a few months of consistent weight loss, he hit a plateau. The scale refused to budge, and Bob felt a mix of frustration and discouragement. He wondered if the warrior diet had reached its limits for him. Determined not to let this setback derail his progress, Bob decided to reevaluate his approach. He realized that while he had been strict about his fasting and eating windows, he had become a bit lax with the quality of his meals. Occasional indulgences had become more frequent and portion sizes had crept up. Bob also sought advice from the online community he had grown to trust. Many shared their own experiences with plateaus and offered suggestions. Based on their advice and his own research, Bob decided to incorporate more varied exercises like high-intensity interval training and swimming to challenge his body differently. He also focused on mindful eating, ensuring he was truly hungry before eating and stopping when he felt satisfied, not stuffed. With these adjustments, the plateau eventually broke and Bob resumed his weight loss journey, more resilient and knowledgeable than before. 6 months into the warrior diet, the transformation in Bob was undeniable. He had shed a total of 40 pounds, but the number on the scale was just a part of the story. His posture had improved, his steps were more confident, and there was a visible spring in his stride. Clothes that had been relegated to the back of his closet now fit him perfectly, and he even had to invest into a new wardrobe to celebrate his slimmer physique. Beyond the physical, Bob's health metrics showed significant improvements. A routine checkup with his doctor revealed better blood pressure, improved cholesterol levels, and stable blood sugar. His doctor was impressed, praising Bob for his dedication and the positive changes he has made to his health. But perhaps the most significant change was Bob's mental and emotional well-being. He felt a renewed sense of purpose, a zest for life that had been missing for years. The discipline and commitment he had shown in his warrior diet journey spilled over into other areas of his life, making him more proactive, optimistic, and eager to take on new challenges. Bob's journey with the warrior diet was a testament to the power of determination, consistency, and the will to change. Looking back, Bob's journey with the warrior diet was more than just about weight loss. It was a transformative experience that taught him the importance of listening to his body, understanding its needs, and making choices that prioritize his well-being. The diet was a tool, but the real change came from within Bob himself. He often reflected on the initial challenges, the plateaus, and the moments of doubt, but each obstacle only strengthened his resolve, teaching him resilience and the value of perseverance. Bob became a beacon of inspiration for many around him, showing that with the right mindset and commitment, anyone could turn their life around. For those considering the warrior diet or any significant lifestyle change, Bob's advice was simple: trust the process, be patient with yourself, and celebrate every small victory. It's not just about the destination, but the journey itself. Now let's hear from you. Do you know anyone who has had success with the warrior diet? Share with us in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed today's video, check out this one next. Just remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification button so you don't miss any of our latest content. Until next time.